Hey everyone, this is how to load and unload a Mossberg shotgun. This is a Shockwave 590. You can see it is empty. The first thing you want to do when you're loading or unloading a Mossberg shotgun is make sure the safety is in the safe position. What that'll look like is it's in the most rearward position. When it's forward, you'll see likely a little red dot or a dimple where paint used to be. To load the shotgun, there's two ways to do it. If you want to have a round in the chamber, the first thing to do is to cycle the action back. So from here, take your shell, drop it in the loading gate, of course keeping the gun pointed in a safe direction, and then as you bring the pump forward, it will slide in and lock. Of course, you are still unsafe. Now, flip the gun over, and in this area, you're going to take other shells and load them in one by one. It's easiest if the gun is upside down entirely. You just drop them in, push them forward until they click, and they stay in there. That's what they'll look like. Mossberg shotguns, this one holds 5 rounds in the tube, so you'll have 6 total, 1 in the pipe and 5 in the tube. If you're ever curious, this is what it'll look like when you run out of space. You just won't be able to push that last one in. So, now we're loaded. Safety's still on. You can store the gun. Point of caution, the firing pins in shotguns like this are free floating. So if you're going to put this in your car, it's probably a better idea to have a round out of the chamber. Now, how do you do that in the Mossberg? A couple of ways. Number one, if you want to keep all the rounds in the tube and just get the one out of the top, you have to do it kind of carefully. There's an action release right here on the bottom of the trigger guard. So right there, press that and you can pull the pump back. You see a shell coming in right here. Don't pull it all the way until it clips out. Just pull it back until this lifter bar drops out of the way. Then you can reach your finger in and pull the shell out. Just release it from the extractor. This gate is still not all the way back. Your pump still has to go further back in order to release the last shell in here, and then it'll go into this loading area. So here, when you pull forward, you'll notice and watch it, there won't be any shell here going in. Okay? Now you have an empty chamber. That's if you want to take just the round out of the chamber. However, sometimes you will pull all the way back and you'll release a round from the tube. So what that looks like is this. And you'll get to right here and you'll feel one more click and that'll drop a round from the tube into the loading area. If you get this, that's okay. Just tip it and the round will fall out. Now verify nothing's going into the chamber as you bring the bolt home. Now you have a round right here. Just put it back in the tube. That's how you would load a shotgun. To unload the Mossberg shotgun, there's a couple of ways to do it. The quickest way for a lot of people, and the way a lot of people choose, is to cycle the gun over and over again using this action release and just dumping the rounds out. What that looks like is this. So you bring it back, there's a round in here, dump it out, pull it forward, dump it out. And you have to do that as many times as you want. You can also, instead of dumping it out like that, you can also just let it go into the chamber and then here just eject it. Now you have another one ready and same deal. So this is not, in my opinion, the best way to do it because you're constantly loading and unloading the gun. A more preferred way to do this, to unload a Mossberg shotgun, again if you read the manual you can see this, is right here. So this is the ejection port side of the gun. On the opposite side there's an action bar that holds your shells in. So if I press this out of the way, that will just release the shell from the tube. And I can do this over and over without cycling the action. So what I would first do when I'm unloading the gun is I would remove that round from the action, peel it out or eject it, and then dump the tube. Make sure it's empty, bring the bolt home, and then release things from the action. That's how you load and unload a Mossberg shotgun. Badass sound.